इस बार आपने वीकली होमवर्क ज़्यादा लेट नहीं दिया था?
Weekly homework I give first paper 6.
हाँ, तो ज़्यादा लेट नहीं दिया था?
Okay, I will upload today.
ये भी सही है।
It's you don't bother about that, so it's not.
So, student lecture.
Yeah, I know, but
Like me, that I am more important.
he's talking about the weekly homework. Okay, here propane and a propene both reacted with chlorine. This is pop quiz 9. When a molecule of a propane, which is C3H8, react with a chlorine in the presence of an ultraviolet light, one hydrogen atom is replaced by one chlorine. State the term given to reaction in which one atom is replaced by another. What we call?
Substitution reaction.
Substitution.
Why not
No.
displacement?
Displacement. Look, there's a difference. It's a good question. Displacement is when the whole element replaces another. Like example, let's say you was having a sodium chloride, okay, and you add a fluorine. So this whole fluorine will take position of the chlorine. So in the compound, the fluorine is completely taking the position of a chlorine and chlorine is replaced. This is called displacement. When the one whole element take out all the atoms of the other. But in a substitution, what happened? You have CH4 and it is reacting with chlorine, or you have C3H8 and it is reacting with the chlorine. So one chlorine atom enter and one hydrogen leave. So as a result, it will become C3H7Cl plus HCl. So this is substitution. When one atom replaces another atom, substitution. When whole element knock out the other element, we call displacement. So don't write displacement. It's all.
Sir, why doesn't both chlorine combine with C3H8?
Because for this reaction to happen or occur, what happened? The ultraviolet light cause a breaking down of the bond of the chlorine. When the bond of the chlorine break, it produce chlorine atom. So this molecule is actually reacting one chlorine atom at a time. It will happen like both will displace the hydrogen, or both will substitute with the hydrogen, but it is one at a time. Because of the UV light, one chlorine atom, like ultraviolet radiation, produce two chlorine atom. But when the reaction happen, one chlorine atom react at once. So in a displacement reaction, the whole element, is it clear? The reason why one chlorine at a time?
Yes.
So if it was like this, chlorine reacting, like we were having CF4 and it was reacting with 2 chlorine. And as a result, all the fluorine, it won't happen because fluorine is more reactive. Let's say we were having CCl4 and it was reacting with fluorine. And all the fluorine take position of the chlorine, so it will form CF4 plus chlorine will be there. This reaction, because the whole element take out the position of another, we call displacement. But when one atom only take the position of another atom, we call substitution. So you state the term given to a reaction, so we call that as a substitution reaction. What is the purpose of UV light in this reaction? Why a UV light is used? Look, UV light is used to start up this reaction. So to provide energy or to provide an activation energy. So you can mention, yeah, because we need a minimum possible energy for a reaction to start. So the ultraviolet radiation or a UV radiation will provide that minimum possible energy for this reaction to start. So what is the purpose of the UV radiation? Is to provide activation energy. Activation energy means minimum possible energy for a reaction to start. So if I have like C3H8 molecule and I have a chlorine molecule, but they are not reacting, no reaction. Why no reaction? Because they don't have enough energy to start up a reaction. But because of the ultraviolet radiation, UV radiation, the chlorine get enough energy and it can break the bond and react with C3H8. So
say it is an initiator, is it correct?
Initiate the reaction is also fine. Or start up the reaction, that's also fine. Yes, you can also say break the bond of a chlorine. You can also say what you said. Provide energy is also fine. Provide energy for a reaction to start. But the best is like, explain your answer. So you can say provide energy to start up a reaction. Provide heat, light, they are all forms of energies. So provide energy to start up a reaction, provide energy to initiate a reaction, or provide enough energy as an activation energy. State the term given to any reaction which require ultraviolet light. So any reaction which need light for happen or
Photochemical
occur, we call them as a photochemical reaction. What is the best example of the photochemical reaction? Photochemical, how the plants prepare their food. Photosynthesis. So this photosynthesis is also a photochemical reaction. So photosynthesis is also a photochemical reaction.
Photosynthesis.
Great. Write a symbol equation for reaction between propane and a chlorine. So propane, we have C3H8 and it is reacting with chlorine. So one chlorine take position of a hydrogen and only one hydrogen will be displaced at the first substitute, I mean. So C3, one hydrogen is lost, one chlorine enter, and the other product is always HCl. So the substitution reaction happen whenever any alkane react with chlorine in the presence of ultraviolet. And it's not like only chlorine, even if there was a bromine in the presence of UV light, it can also react, okay? But you need ultraviolet radiation, yes?
Can you populate that?
No.
Can you show the answer again for first part?
Propane react with a chlorine to form chloropropane, C3H7Cl plus HCl. C3H8 plus Cl2 gives C3H7Cl plus HCl. A molecule of a propene, this is an alkene, okay, is unsaturated, will react with a chlorine at room temperature. Why a propene is an unsaturated? What is the meaning of the term unsaturated? So the compound which contain carbon-carbon double bond. Compound with a carbon-carbon double bond, we call that as unsaturated hydrocarbon.
So we have to only write that.
Yeah, you have to mention. I just put C double bonded C, but you will mention compound with a carbon-carbon double bond. Give a structural formula. Yes, if you mention because they have double bond, that's also fine. Give the structural formula of the product of this reaction. So we have a propene, C3H6, and it is reacting with a chlorine. What alkenes undergo? Alkenes undergo addition reaction. Addition reaction means only one product will be there. So if it is C3H6 and reacting with Cl2, so what is one product? It will be C3H6Cl2. So alkenes always undergo addition, where alkanes undergo substitution. Substitution means when one atom replaces another atom. Propene undergo addition reaction with steam. There are two possible products. Draw displayed formula of each. Look, this is propene. Displayed formula means we have to show all the bonds and all the atoms. This is propene. Prop means 3 carbon and ene means they have double bond is there. Now, what is the possibility when it react with steam? Steam means H and OH. Okay. Yeah. So what might happen?
Alcohol.
Maybe
Alcohol.
Alcohol will form. That's right. But maybe the OH might be attached with the first carbon and H attached with the second carbon. That is one possibility. Or what is the second possibility? That when the double bond will break, the OH might be attached with the second carbon and H is attached with the first carbon, because both possibilities are there. So we have to complete a product. Displayed formula. So the double bond, we have to break the double bond and attach OH with the first, let's say we attach OH with the first and H with the second. So what is the name of the product? What is this compound? 3 carbon
Propanol.
propanol. Prop because of 3 carbon and N because of a single bond and all because of OH. And OH with the first carbon. But when OH is attached with the second carbon, whenever alkene react, the double bond will always break. And the other reagent will be added. Because it is steam, so one side H will be added, other side OH will be added. No, 3 carbon again. What is the name of this compound?
Propan-2-ol.
Good. It will be propan-2-ol. Prop because of 3 carbon, N because of single bond, and 2 is the position of the OH. OH is not, and these two compounds with the same molecular formula but different structure, what we call them as isomers. So these are the isomers. The next question is carboxylic acid can be converted into ester. Name the ester form when a butanoic acid react with ethanol. Remember, the name of ester is -YL -enoid. Yeah. The first dash is always from alcohol. Which alcohol? Eth.
Ethanol.
So it will be
Ethyl.
ethyl. And the second name is always from
Butanoid.
carboxylic acid, so it will be butanoid. So it will be ethyl butanoid. Okay. The structure of ester is always -YL -enoid. The first part of the structure is always alcohol, and the second part is always from carboxylic acid. Identify other product which is formed when acid react with an alcohol,
Water.
it will form ester plus water. Deduce the empirical formula of ester formed. How to deduce the empirical formula? Empirical formula means the simplest ratio. Okay. Like the ester which will be formed, if I draw the structure of this ester, it will be CH3, CH2, CH2, then the C double bonded with O, and then O is there, then CH2, CH3. This is actually ethyl butanoid. How many carbon atoms do you see in this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total. How many hydrogen? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And how many oxygen are there? 2. What is the empirical formula? Empirical formula means simplest ratio. So 2 is common. I will divide by 2. So if I divide by 2, it will be C3, H6, and O. So you write a molecular formula and that you can work out the empirical formula. You C3H6 and O. Then PET, which is a polyester shown in figure. Circle 1 unit of this polymer. Like repeat unit, where the repetition started in this molecule.
After the shaded
Oxygen and carboxylic, dicarboxylic.
second shaded.
Look, if I shade this, like if I make a box here, we just need 1 unit. And I put a box here. Do they look identical?
Yes.
No? Yes.
Yes.
They look identical. So
Yes.
it means these are the units. This is 1 unit. The term unit here refers to like you make a circle and then you make another circle. Both structures should look identical. That is called a single unit. Now here, how many units are there? We have 2 units. So this is 1 unit and this is a second unit. So we just have to circle on 1 repeat unit. So we just have to circle. I put a square, but we need a circle here. So this will be the.
We can also put on the second.
You can also put here. That's fine. Draw the structure of a monomer which make up this PET and draw the function. So what will happen? One side, because like we have this group is there, a carboxylic group. So C double bonded with O. This box is there. And this unshaded box with O.
Diol.
So because this is formed when dicarboxylic acid react with diol. So this was a 1 unit. Look, see what we did. This was a 1 unit. We break down this 1 unit into 2 halves and identify what molecules are there. Because the polyester is formed when dicarboxylic acid react with diol. So one molecule, both side will be a carboxylic acid. Another molecule, both side will be a alcohol. Diol, yeah. State the type of polymerization. What kind of polymerization is this? This is a condensation polymerization. Because
How many marks for part 2?
part 2, it's of 2 marks. Each one is each. Like 1 mark for each structure.